Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Between the Numbers Sports Podcast and Show. I'm your host, Daryl. And on this episode, I want to talk about uh, Kyron Lacy, LSU wide receiver. I woke up this morning and the news, I got, I got on, I think I was on Facebook, right? And it said that, you know, I saw that an article came across my news feed that said that Kyron Lacy had been confirmed dead, right? And the first thing I thought about was, did somebody, hurt him? Like, did someone inflict violence upon him? And then it came out that it appeared to be a he took his own life, right? And so it's just been bothering me all day because if you are from Louisiana, uh, then you know that, like, well, if you're from Louisiana and you root for LSU, you know that the players, you look at them almost as if like they're a part of your family, right? Whether you look at them like they're a son, a daughter, or what have you, right? I looked at Kyron Lacy as a homeboy, right? One thing about Kyron Lacy, he was gonna dance, right? If you follow his journey from UL, that's when I first found out about him, right? Was at UL, transfers to LSU. Uh, you know, he played some pretty meaningful snaps, but he was behind some really good wide receivers at LSU. He had to, he was fighting for playing time, and he was gone amongst greats like Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, right? But this last season, the 2024 season, Kyron Lacy finally got his chance to shine, and he finally got his chance to lead that wide receiver room, right? It was a very young wide receiver room, and he got a chance to lead that room, right? And Kyron Lacy, he was going to dance. He was going to do his little antics. He was going to get a couple of penalties. And Brian Kelly talked really glowingly about how Kyron Lacy was really trying to work on his behavior, like try to keep himself grounded, right? And so you got to see Kyron Lacy blossom into a number one wide receiver at LSU. And again, I looked at Kyron Lacy like a homeboy. I never met the young man at all. Never met him. But I'm a big LSU fan, and I enjoyed watching him play. And, when LSU was kind of like not doing much in the game, I used to say, come on, man, throw the ball to Kyron Lacy. I used to always wonder what the hell was Kyron Lacy doing? Like, come on, man, throw the ball to Kyron Lacy, right? And so um, you got so excited when you saw him make plays like the one he made versus USC, right, in the end zone, and when the walk off touchdown to beat Ole Miss, right, and so you always look forward to seeing what dance Kyron Lacy was going to do next. Uh, and Kyron Lacy was 24 years old, man. The kids, right? I'm 39 years old. He's Kyron Lacy. He considered a young man, a kid to me. And kids are gonna make bad, terrible decisions, right? People are gonna make terrible decisions. And Kyron Lacy made a terrible decision. You know, After the season when he allegedly caused a motor vehicle accident that took the life of a elderly gentleman who was a veteran, a Vietnam veteran, right? I'm a veteran myself, right? I did 20 years in the military, right? So um, I definitely understand. One moment, one of my there we go. Sorry, my other camera died, so now we're gonna be using my webcam. But I'm a veteran myself, so I definitely understand. You know what his, what that guy's that lost his life family is going through, right, and what it means to be a veteran and serve this country. And I remember saying the day that I saw the news that Kyron Lacy allegedly caused that incident, I was just like, come on, man. I was really disappointed in Kyron Lacy because, like I said, Kyron Lacy had a good season. He had a great season, and he was definitely going to get drafted. He definitely was going to be on someone's team, right? And so at 24 years old, he had his whole life ahead of him, right? He had an NFL career. You know, he had, probably going to get married, have some kids, right? Um, but he made a bad decision, right? He made a bad decision that cost someone their life. Now, he did turn himself in. He was out on bond and he was getting ready to go to, he was going to go to trial. But it just bothers me that, you know, the guy had so much weight on his shoulders, right? About possibly facing the consequences of what happened that day in Louisiana. That the only option that he thought that he had was taking his own life. Uh, and you get online, which I try not to. And what I mean by try not to is I try not to read the comments, but you see some of the nasty things, some of the diabolical, savage, downright dirty things that people are saying about Kyron Lacy, right? They're treating this man like he was a monster. He did a bad thing, right? He made a reckless decision, but the dude was not a monster, right? And being mature, being mentally mature, right? Um, you can say that Kyron Lacy made a very, very, very bad decision, right? And you can say condolences and prayers to the veteran who lost his life, right? And you also can say that you feel bad for Kyron Lacy's family. You have condolences for the family, and you have empathy and sympathy of what Kyron Lacy went through, and you can feel saddened by the loss of, uh, you know, an immensely talented young man that had his whole life ahead of him, right? But to see some of the nasty things that people are saying about Kyron Lacy online, it really irritates me. It sickens me. It pisses me off because um, I think that one bad decision put a dark cloud over Kyron Lacy's life, and I don't think that what happened is who Kyron Lacy really is or was, right? And so I'm gonna always choose to remember Kyron Lacy as K2, number two. You know, the dude had some sick moves, right? It's like, man, this dude is it what dance can't this dude do, right? I'm gonna remember him as being an electrifying wide receiver for LSU. I'm gonna remember the Ole Miss play. I'm gonna remember the play versus USC when he scored and he made he went viral on social media for his dancing, and that's what I'm gonna choose to remember about Kyron Lacy. I just want to give condolences to his family, his friends, his close loved ones, his teammates, um, and everyone out there who is affected by this loss. And I also want to again give my condolences and my thoughts to the Vietnam veteran who lost his life um, doing a motor vehicle incident allegedly with Kyron Lacy. Condolences to both families. All right. So until next time, I'm out.